Okay, welcome to today's next level session here at Inside Real Estate. Had a little break last week, so hopefully you guys were able to catch up on some of the old archives, which can be found at insiderealestate.com/webinars and also in the next level members area. So see the old episodes here of these sessions. And generally what we do is we talk for a little bit about a new concept or a lead generation or conversion idea, and then we get into some Q&A. It's pretty much the format. You can find the links to attend these live on the live training calendar. I'll just remind everybody, as we do every session, that we've got a lot of different stuff going on the calendar. So if you're looking to get a little more immersed in KV Core and our other products and services here at Inside Real Estate, that's a good place to do so, is by clicking the calendar at the top right of your KV Core section. And also remember that we've got a lot of courses and resources here at the bottom left of the dashboard that you guys can take advantage of. So if you're totally new to KV Core, I definitely recommend you hop into the quick start before you get to these sessions. On these sessions, we tend to get a little more advanced or just outside of the box. It might be a way of saying it. So if this is your first time here, just be ready for that. Now that's out of the way, I think Gabe is going to pop on today from API Nation. We had him on a few weeks ago. Let me see if Gabe's here yet. Yeah, he's here. And he's going to just show us a little something related to typing your realtor and Zillow leads in. But Gabe, before you get started, I just want to share with everybody something I was working on before we hopped in. And, we have this kind of need in real estate, right, to be putting content out there that reminds our sphere of influence that we're in the business or that engages people. And we do a lot of stuff around sharing the specific lists of properties, right? Our squeeze links, we talk a lot about that, about doing things like retargeting. But coming up with content, can be tricky. Using properties, specific listings and lists of properties is a really good way to go. But I've been thinking a little bit more about using data. And I happen to spend a lot of time in a piece of software called TradingView, which a lot of people who trade things like stocks and crypto and Forex use to chart things. And this morning, I was like, I wonder if there's some data around the US housing market. And lo and behold, there was this chart. It's very simple. It's just United States single family home prices. And I have a 1 week chart here. So this kind of line here, for those of you who aren't familiar with this sort of thing, this line, which I should make a little brighter. Let's do that. And the reason I want to do it live is I want to give this to you guys so you can share it if you want. So make that line a little more white. This line represents average home prices in the United States. So the current number is, I guess, 375,000. And you can see it's pretty accurate. I immediately went back and I looked to see what happened back around the GFC, the financial crisis in 2007, 2008. You see it kind of like got to a peak and then it sort of went down. And knowing what I know about technical analysis of charts, it was like a tried and true reversal. It's really cool to see. Anyway, for people, you don't really need to be that into this stuff, but there are people in your audience who spend their whole day trading and looking at things like this. So I thought it might be cool if I gave you guys, if you want to use it, maybe we take a screenshot of this. And all I did was I wrote some text that says US home prices are still making higher highs on the charts, but are they dangerously extended above the 220-week moving averages? Comment below if you think a correction is coming. So we're just trying to get people talking to us on social media about the market. And if you do use TradingView, or if you're familiar with technical analysis and trading, hey, maybe this is something you can incorporate into your marketing. So I'm going to copy this right now, this image. And I will first, I'm going to copy it and I'll just post it to my Facebook to kind of see. So you guys can kind of see what you might do with this. You can post it to LinkedIn, you can email it out. You can make a blog post out of it, right? These would make for really cool blog posts. I wish, and maybe I'll discover, I wish that this was available for local markets. Wouldn't that be awesome, right? If you could chart local home prices, and it's probably out there. I'm just not aware of where to find it yet, but I might look into that and just say some technical analysis on the real estate market, ? Right? And then they have the image like that. So that's just, as always, I always like to post on my personal profile, and it just reminds the few thousand or a few hundred people who are friends of mine that I'm in the business. That's kind of why we do these sorts of things. So everybody comment, let me know what you think. Will you use that image? I'll give you the image now. Let's go back here. Here, I'll put this in the description of this video, and if anybody wants to kind of grab it now, I just dropped it in the Zoom chat, but I'll put it below the description. So no comments, so I'll assume everybody's just watching. Is this a little too much reach for everybody, or can you see using data and charts in this way as a way to engage? I think it's a pretty good idea. And the other thing you could do, maybe I was a little lazy on this post. If you'd like to know whether your Pinellas County might be due for a correction, maybe I don't want to do that. If you know where your Pinellas County home might stand on a chart like this, click to check your current value now, right? And then I could link over to my site. I shell that PHP, something like that. Tie it into a call to action. Yeah, Dennis is saying he could use his MLS market stats app. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so you could just, I think the big takeaway here is use some data, right? And some stats in your posts. You don't always have to use just listings and try to mix it up in that way. So cool. So Gabe, can you hear me? Are you mic'd up?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Cool.
No, I love that. Charts, there's a whole swath of people who are into charts, and real estate agents, sometimes they can get into like remodeled bathroom pictures, and that does not appeal to that swath of people. They want to know, what is this money for? What is it going for? Is it going to grow? Is it a good investment? As beautiful as those bathrooms and kitchens are, I would like to know that this is a good idea. So I think this is great.
Yeah. And it's more people than you think. I mean, there are lots of people who spend their whole days with their eyeballs on something like this. So it'll get their attention. Yeah.
One of the sort of unfortunate things we've learned over the past 3 years is people do love charts and they love to argue about them. So
yeah, for sure. Okay. So you were going to come on today. You had mentioned to me that API Nation had made some improvements to the Zillow and Realtor tie-ins. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we just added a couple new Zillow and Realtor.com syncs. So here, is it okay if I share the screen?
For sure, yeah. Let me share.
All right, cool. So let's bring up mine. All right, cool. So Zillow and Realtor.com, if you're getting leads from there, there's a couple different ways to get them into KV Core. If you're curious, there is an existing way within KV Core built in. If you want to know more about that, go down to support and training, support docs. That'll take you over to the support center. And then just click this search all articles, search for Zillow or Realtor.com. And there's some great articles here that'll walk you through connecting it through the lead Dropbox. And this is a great option. We have built an option that is a little bit more flexible. So you can do a little bit more for you guys who are kind of in the advanced class and want more hands-on with exactly how these leads are going to get pulled across. So let me just take you through that real quick. The idea is we're getting leads into KV Core from Realtor and Zillow, and you want them in there instantly. You're also be able to sync the notes or any kind of questions you have in kind of Realtor or Zillow, or any of the extra information. You can tell it where to go if you want it in notes. You can add hashtags. You can specify the source, the type, and the status. So like I said, just kind of get more hands-on with exactly how this stuff is getting in there. So let's hop in and I'll kind of show you what it looks like to set it up.
And I have a quick question. So I think there's a little bit of an issue sometimes with lead routing Zillow leads for some people.
Oh, really?
In KV Core. So I assume that if you can specify a source, maybe it could trigger some routing rules. And then you could route your Zillow leads to other people on your team. For those of you who are in a team or broker environment, this might be useful in that sense.
Yeah. It's a few more options. So this is great for somebody who's kind of getting in there. So where I'm on APINation.com, and you're just going to go find the KV Core tile. These are in alphabetical order. So you're going to go to K for KV Core. Click on that. And here we go. So here are Zillow and Realtor.com. They're both in beta. They've been in beta for about 60 days. We've had people testing them for about 120 days, and they've been great. I think this is mostly just our team has needs to go back and take them out of beta. But that's great for you because while they're in beta, they're all free for 30 days to get started. Okay. So I'm going to do with Realtor.com. So you've clicked the KV Core tile. You click Realtor.com. And connecting it, you can see there's the sync. We're doing Realtor.com into KV Core. It's a flat price, so it doesn't matter how many leads you get. It doesn't matter how many times you set this up with different rules. It's always going to be the same flat price. I'm going to activate it. Connect KV Core. I'm just going to sign into KV Core and authorize. And then to connect Realtor.com, I'm going to click this. There's a few steps here to collect Realtor.com. I'm not going to walk you through them on this call because this is pretty quick. But there's this link right here with instructions, which are my buddy Nick has written out and documented for you. It's pretty straightforward, pretty similar to the KV Core instructions, but it'll take you 2 minutes, not 20 minutes.
Yeah,
take about 2 minutes.
Somewhere between 2 and 20. Yeah,
depending on how many phone calls you're answering in the meantime. But and then you're just going to put in the email you have for APINation.com. So this is your API Nation account email. And so I'm going to do that and hit connect. So once you go through all these few steps here and then put in your email, you're going to see this. Just a few configuration options here. Basically, Realtor.com, whenever a lead comes in, it's going into KV Core. If the person, for whatever reason, already exists in KV Core, should we completely overwrite them? Or you can check this box and say, no, just fill in any missing information that happens to be there. Totally up to you, depending on how that goes. I think that's probably pretty rare with Realtor.com leads because these are new people. And then you can just go through the mapping. And this is kind of where the difference is going to be between the lead Dropbox setup and our setup. You can put whatever you want that's coming in from the lead, the Realtor.com leads in here. So if you want it in phone, that's great. If you want to add it phone into the cell phone, you can do that. If there is a message, you can come down here to note, hit this little plus sign, add the message. So all this stuff, maybe you want to do the message and you want to do the role. So I'm just going to hit enter. I'm going to type role. And this will come over as text in the note. So it's always going to say that. And then I'm going to add role here. And then there's a little preview here. It says, some message and then role equals seller buyer. You can add hashtags as they come through. So maybe you want to add a hashtag of hashtag realtor.com. You can do that. And then like we talked about originally, that lead origin, you can do that also so that you can set up the routing to whichever agent you want. So you can set up the routing rules. This is going to be your source here. And this is it.
This also gives you more control over campaigns that are triggered because you can set the hashtags. And I think you can do that with the current integration, but you don't have the flexibility to really change what it says as it comes in.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. The hashtag thing has been pretty huge. We just added this for KV Core. For experienced users, they'll remember you used to just sync it in notes, but now it's in the hashtag. So sweet, this is it. And then you'll just set it and forget it, and then you'll hop into KV Core, and those leads will route themselves into the campaigns, to the agents you want, and everything.
Great, Gabe. Yeah, there's a question about this looking like Zapier. To my knowledge, Realtor.com hasn't created a Zapier sync, have they?
No. I don't think so. Our stuff does look a little bit like Zapier because Zapier works so well, so. And some of you guys are familiar with it. So we're like, well, let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's similar to Zapier, but you're doing a similar thing. You're connecting apps together, but you guys have done a great job getting very specific and drilling down in real estate to the different tools,
Yeah.
and making it a little easier to build these flows.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're looking for. And then the other thing is, will there be a charge of $10 for every lead source with KV Core? That's the other thing is Zapier. You kind of pay for a subscription to Zapier, and then as leads come in, if you're like super productive, you could see a bill at the end of the month that's like pretty high. But this is always going to be the same. This is the same exact $10 for this sync, and then everything on here is just a la carte. So if you go through your KV Core and you want to add more connections, it's just going to continue to be same flat rates as as you hook them up. So, but yeah, that's it. That's Realtor.com. That's Zillow. It's going to be a similar thing. Go to connect it. Just follow the steps to connect it when you're setting it up. Pretty simple, and then you'll get those leads where you want them. Perfect.
Thanks, Gabe. So definitely useful, guys. If you're in one of those team scenarios and you're trying to route those Zillow and Realtor.com leads, I think there's some huge upside to this. And then, of course, the regular integrations, I think they use our email Dropbox, and that can always be a little tricky. This just gives you a lot more flexibility. So
yeah, I'll drop some information in the Facebook group, and if you guys have any questions, be sure to hit me up.
Great. And then I'll reference, Gabe was on about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We did do a session that went a little more in depth about using API Nation with Facebook and some of the other options that you have. So just scroll through there. I think it is, where'd we go? All right. Well, I'll make sure it's on this list, Gabe. It's possible with the vacation that I did get it up here somehow, but I'll make sure it's up there, guys, for you. Okay.
Well, thanks a lot, Ryan. Have a good one. Yep. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Okay, guys. So let's see. So that's kind of what we had for today as far as some concepts, some technical analysis of the real estate market, a little update about API Nation. And now we'll get into some Q&A. Does anybody have anything related to KV Core or anything that's on your mind with respect to growing your real estate business in these crazy times that you'd like to talk about now? Got plenty of time to dig in. I will mention, just while I kill some time and wait for somebody to drop a question, the system really can be powerful sometimes. I'm pretty unplugged as far as selling houses goes with everything I have going on. I mention that a lot on these sessions, but I do use my site a little bit. I drive some leads in, and I am pretty lazy and not proactive about following up. All I do is I set up the automated campaigns that we talk about, smart campaigns, and I set up listing alerts for most of the leads. I'm not perfect at it. And I just want to show you, here's an example I just noticed of somebody who's just reaching out to me. I have no idea who they are, but they received their information from a friend, right? I don't know who the friend is at all. I don't know that name, Maureen. And they're reaching out to me. They have a rental need, which is fine, but they're reaching out to me about real estate. And this wouldn't happen, if I wasn't sending their friend the automated alerts, because that's the only thing I do really. I have a little bit of retargeting going on, but that's it. So I just want to kind of make the point that this stuff works, and it's just a matter of getting your systems in place and being consistent about filling your funnel with stuff, with fresh prospects. So let's see. Jeannie's asking, can you do a refresh on how to set up auto alerts on leads coming in from Zapier? For sure. Yeah, for sure. So the question is, how do you trigger a Zapier lead to automatically get alerts? And the answer to that lies in our automated alerts feature, which can be found under marketing right here. And then you can see where it says search alerts right here. So if I click on that, I can create an alert that is triggered from any hashtag. So let's say I have a Zap going, and that Zap is sending me in land listings. I'll just call it land. And when the lead comes in from Zapier, at the Zapier side of things, I'm assigning a hashtag. Now, Jeannie, let me know if you want to see that Zapier. I can do that too. I can show you, but you would have, when you built your Zap, assigned a hashtag. And in this case, it would be land. Okay. So then I would set up my alert to be all the land listings in this county. So this part's pretty straightforward. Just look for listing types, land, and then frequency, maybe once a week, and then add the alert. So that's the sort of KV Core side of that equation. the alerts are triggered by the hashtag that's being piped in. I have that in there twice. Now on the Zapier side of things, you guys might have to be patient with me getting logged into this thing here. Do that in a new window, just so I can show you. I always have to go into this other program to remember what this crazy password is from a Zapier account. It's not memorizable. Here we go. And sorry for those of you who can hear my homeschooled child screaming in the background at his friends. Not screaming. All right, there we go. And then we'll go into a KV Core Zap. Just try to find an example. Usually when I do sessions about Zapier, I do kind of have to do all this ahead of time. But here's a good example. So this would be a lease purchase Facebook ad right here. So the scenario is we're running a Facebook lead ad for lease purchase rent to own leads. And then the second action in our Zap, so the trigger is the Facebook lead ads. The second action is to push that lead into KV Core. So we've done kind of the choosing of the account. We've got all that tied up. And then we have this setup section right here. And what we've done is we've mapped over the name from Facebook, the email, the phone, the last name, lead status, source in there. And then at the very bottom, you can see we have tags. And I have the tag lease purchase right there. So that's kind of where it's set at the Zapier side of thing. In my example, we were doing land. So I would set this tag to land. And then anytime the lead came in, this automated alert attached to my land hashtag would trigger. So that's kind of how it rolls. Tags, yes, tags. That's the answer, JD. That's how you do it, tags. So, were you thrown off? I've told the guys this because this threw me off too. Yeah, we don't call them tags. They are called hashtags. So that's probably your question. It's like, where's the hashtag thing? Well, that's where it is. And then a separate Zap for each tag. Yeah, you can assign multiple tags from the same source. So if I want this to be lease purchase, and buyers, like the two different hashtags, you can do that. Use this pipe character. But if you're doing two different ads and you want separate alerts to go out based on the ad, then you would need separate Zaps to trigger. Yeah, buyer, seller, property lead. Yeah, you'd probably want separate alerts. Now, if you want everybody, I talk a bit about not obsessing over like the targeting on alerts sometimes and about how you can get away with just setting up a general alert for your whole area. Like that just is assigned by like the hashtag general, right? And all I would do is I would say, hey, just send anything in the county that's between 300 and 600K. Just so people are getting something from me. I don't know anything about their criteria, but when the $600,000 listings I'm sending them are too low because they really want a $2 million house, they're going to reply back and be like, why are you sending me these? I'm interested in 2 million, and that'll be a good thing. So you can see here, I have this general alert tag. You could always just have something like that set up, and then from all of your Zaps, just set everybody up for that general tag along the way. So how does this differ from a squeeze page? So the way that this Zap example, when we're using a Zap, put it behind here. When we're using this, it's because the lead is being collected at a third-party website. It's not being collected on KV Core. So in this example, the Facebook lead form is popping up in the person's stream, and they're filling in their name, email, phone there, and we just need a way to get into KV Core, and that's what the Zap does. A squeeze page is when you've built it in the lead engine in KV Core, and it's an actual page, list of properties the person's visiting, and then on that page they're being prompted to register. So you don't need a Zap for that because it's all on KV Core's system, and it's popping up the link, the registration form here. I'll just Okay, so I just built a quick Zoom squeeze link. I'll go into another window here that I'm not registered in. So I would come here and eventually it'll ask me to register. It's loading slow because I'm using Brave's like incognito feature here. So if I click that, I go to another one, and then finally it gets me to log in. So this happens here on our site. The lead goes straight in. Now you would have set the hashtag right up here. Maybe that was your question. So I could have said, land is my hashtag here, and that would trigger the alert the same way. It's all about how the hashtag is set up. And the same way, if you were building a specific landing page, you could assign the hashtag from there, knowing that that land hashtag is going to trigger those automated alerts. So Veronica is asking where we go to get those again. Yeah, so it's marketing on the left side. And then it's search alerts is where you configure all that. Yep. Yeah, and they're both setting up automations. But so think of it this way, you can build your follow-up processes in KV Core for every lead generation niche that you have. So if I have the land niche, I can have one smart campaign for land and I can have one property alert. But then I could have 5 different sources, ways that I'm getting those leads in. And each one of those is assigning that land hashtag. So I don't need to build all the automation every time I have a new front end way to acquire leads. I just need to make sure that I'm assigning that niched hashtag. And this is kind of what we just did in a really roundabout way, was we walked through what growth systems look like, the way we lay it out in Core Next Level, where you have a niche, land, you have traffic sources, maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's a Google click to a squeeze or landing page, maybe it's realtor.com, as Gabe was just talking about. And then anytime those leads come in, then we need the automation built at KV Core, our primary methods of automation being smart campaigns and automated property alerts. So Patricia's asking a good question. Would you show how to create a search for the best high schools in X area? Yeah, let's do it. I don't know what best high schools mean, but let's just, you mean homes next to a specific high school, right? That's kind of the way I'll approach this. So if I come into the lead engine and I go build squeeze page, and the closest high school to me, it's called Boca Ciega here in Pinellas County. So I'll just come to my squeeze page link here, and I'll do a draw on map, right? This is how I'm going to specify my area. And I'm going to zoom into the kind of midpoint of where I'm trying to go. So here's the high school kind of in the middle. And I don't know the boundaries for this, but if you do know the boundaries for the school district, you could easily draw them, but I'll just do something like this. So, right, this is really rough, but I'll just draw that, apply selection. Okay, and then I can do listing types, single family, assuming that. Here it is. Generate link. And then my Facebook post or my ad or LinkedIn post or whatever would be, here's a complete current list of homes within walking distance to Boca Ciega High School. Yeah. Tired of driving for a teenager to school. Here's a complete current list of homes within walking distance of Boca. There you go. Like that. So okay, so yeah, I went on that tangent, Patricia. I figured there was more to that question. So you need multiple high schools over the Northern Virginia area. So the way I would approach that, if the school district doesn't work, like if you can't just directly say, area school district, then use the view edit map and then take the link. So you just saw me create the link and make a custom page. So I would come here, go to website content. I'm under Web and IDX, website content, go to custom pages, add a new page. Okay, so do school, high school home links or whatever. So walking distance, Ciega, walking distance, St. Pete High. So you're basically creating the sort of resource page, and then each of these will link to the map search you created, like that, right? Hit save. Oops. Stuff you might like. Hit save. Like so. And then where did my page go? Here it is. So you can put a video up at the top of this. And then if you want, you can build a landing page that gives away the link to this page. So I can go over here to lead engine, build landing page. And then so see homes near Pinellas counties. Best, I don't know if I would use best, but most popular high schools. All right, see current list, see current links, available listings for and then maybe list them out. Boca, Diego, list each school like this. And then you would, the redirect link for this page would be that page where you have all your links. So this particular link would go in the landing page here. Yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. Patricia shared this link with me, best high school rankings. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, what you could do is share this article and say, hey, here's an article with all these. You can send an email, right? Hey, this article just came out with all of Northern Virginia's best public high schools. If you'd like to see a link for all of the listings within these school districts, go to my resource page here. And well, there's like 50 of them here. You might take you an hour or two to build all those links out, but it wouldn't be terribly hard, just a little tedious for a little while, and make that really cool resource page. And I could see that being something that somebody bookmarks, when they're searching, because they're going to want to go back, and they're probably just waiting for that right house to pop up in that school district. So you could be providing a bit of a service for people. So Jeannie's asking, Patricia's asking, let's get to that first. Is high school a search term? Yeah, it usually is. But the issue we have is it's not always 1000% accurate, because in some MLSs, it's based on what the realtor enters into the MLS, basically. So that's why we have this map search option, so you can draw the boundaries yourself. But if I go to location here, and I think if I type high school, Boca Ciega, the example I just used, you can actually do that. It's going to be up to you to decide whether or not it's as accurate as you want it to be. For my money, I like the idea, and you can see here it says use geographical errors rather than MLS. I think there's something to that too. Will help you, but for my money, drawing on the map is the most surefire way to make sure that you've got the right district. So G's asking, is it set up to go out every weeks for the ongoing auto alert? You can figure that. So you have a pretty good number of options there. It's right at the bottom of the alert. So you can do daily. You can, if your MLS does it, you can send it as soon as the listing becomes available. Twice weekly, once weekly, twice a month, and then monthly. Yeah, but I like this idea, this patch.com that you guys are sharing. I guess maybe they did that for a bunch of different areas. Here's another one. share the article, and your call to action could just be, hey, if there's a school district you're gunning for and you want to know anytime something new comes up in that school district, let me know, or go here and I've got a curated list with links to each one. You can go that route. Okay. All right, just looking to see if there's any other questions. So yeah, it doesn't seem to be more questions. Give you guys another minute if there's anything else related to KV Core, or we can call it a day. Is there anything you guys would like to see covered tomorrow? Let me know. Google has changed they've really made a lot of changes to the ads platform. So I was thinking maybe we do a few sessions about Google ads again. I don't think it's too long since we've done that, but they keep changing things. And I might want to just update that. Jeannie's asking, is there a limit on mass SMS texts? I think there is. I can't remember what that limit is. I think there is a certain number that we can't send over, and or maybe that was email. Let's see if we can find out. I will say that the carriers, especially a few of the really big ones, one of which we use to deliver text, the actual phone carriers, T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, they are clamping down big time on mass texting. And in turn, the providers who send the texts are getting a lot more hard on us as marketers. So mass texting itself, we might say, hey, there's no limit. But if you send over a few hundred, they're probably going to freak out and throttle you. The actual Twilios, one of the ones we use, like they would actually drill down. So I'm not sure what those numbers are right now, but I would say be careful about mass texting and think about texting more as a way to reach out to intimate, smaller sets of people. If you have 20 to 50 to 100 and you're filtering in KV Core, you should have no problem. If you're going to try to do 2,000 or 3,000, it's gonna mess deliverability up for you. A lot of them might not get through. You'll get more complaints. And for my money, the best use of texting is more of an organic kind of response to a lead, or kind of one-offs. And those will still get through. If you're sending one automated smart campaign text, a couple times a day because you're generating 5 Facebook leads a day or 5 property boost leads a day, you're gonna be fine. But the mass texting's been really hard for everybody. Uh-oh. Is Mother's Day this weekend? Uh-oh. Somebody just said Happy Mother's Day to all the moms, Jeannie. Ooh, yeah, okay. Thank you. All right. What about an update on what's doing KV Core? They just did a webinar. I will get you the link. I'll get the link added to, there was a whole spring release webinar, I think last week or the week before. I will get that added to the playlist. Jeannie. I forgot about Mother's Day. Oh, the mass text is Happy Mother's Day to all my moms. Okay. Yeah, are you gonna pick the moms out and put them in a filter? You're probably fine. You're gonna go through your contacts and see the moms, or you're just gonna send one to everybody that says Happy Mother's Day. If you're sending the text without a link in the text and it's not too commercial, you're probably fine. It's when you try to send a link out to, say, a listing and you send 3,000 of them, gets a little hairy. Yeah, bomb video, you should be fine, G. Yeah, it should be okay. There's just, we see some crazy stuff. Like people will upload every realtor in the United States to try to recruit to their company and try sending an email or a text. They're like, oh no, that's not going to work. Some limits. So Patricia, I'll get you that update webinar posted to the main feed of our recorded webinars. I know that the new seller pages are coming. There's been a handful of things that I'm not super plugged into that I need to get plugged into. Tom's saying new construction. Not getting the context on that one, job. Tom. Dennis says Twilio doesn't have a limit, doesn't have a stated limit. You know, one of the big problems is like T-Mobile has started marking people as specific numbers as spam. Like I get a lot of calls that say, what is that term? You guys know what I'm talking about. It like says suspected something or yeah. Shady says likely spam. Thanks, Heather. Sorry. My phone, I was looking, I just had like a modern moment where I looked at my phone to find an example of one of those calls. And then of course, you know, like you see like the last 3 texts you got and just, you know, get distracted. I'm sorry. All right, guys. So I think we're good for today. Thank you for being here as always. Tom saying getting new construction business, i.e. buyers. Love it. Let's do it tomorrow. We'll build out a quick new construction funnel. That is a very good one of my favorites. So we'll talk new construction tomorrow. So thanks for the topic, Tom, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.